And Sun City also putting some baits out there. Of course, opening the door with that Viper wall up. It's going to cause some paranoia for XLG.
Playing very safely in the back is going to be Raga here. And he will be falling off. This is going to end up being a retake scenario for XLG to begin things. Should be able to get a default plant here as well. Just going to rush their way directly into Hall. Traded, though, is Raga for 1. So keeping numbers still reasonable for XLG's retake.
Sun City were like, is anybody home? Like, they just got the site for free. They got immediate first blood. It was traded. And Zekin just needs to lock in. That looked like something he could have won against Havoya, but it's an opening that XLG could work with. Now, Sun City, their backs are against the wall, trying to keep the spike planted. But it's a united army of XLG that dismantle the Sentinels on pistol.
Teşekkürler. Thank you.
Expecting some of these refreshes on Utah to come through momentarily, as well as we have the rotation from Sentinel over towards Rubble. Not too much exploration from John Cuda so far either, but he did show presence there a little bit earlier. That's going to be first blood, bang. Straight on to Coconut. Wall comes up a little bit too late to save Coconut. XLG were hoping we're going to be able to win that duel. Now straight through into tree, onto site, nobody's home.
Yeah, this will be pretty easy for Sentinels, but it's the retake that you have to worry about for XLG. They're going to wait to be united while XLG still wait for their Viper, but you know, with the Sheriffs, it's fine. Now dropping down from the low ground soon. Out the smokes dissipate. Zekin is front and center as the bodyguard, and John Cutie has the right lane. Now Raga will be next, and no utility to try and surprise Sentinels with. They just walk down one by one, and it'll be a Sentinels flawless very soon on their first rifle round.
That's going to be a nightfall earned by Narrate as well. Slowly played that one. XLG gave a lot of space there. Sentinels. We'll see potentially a larger setup now for XLG on the A side of things. This one could get spicy right away. Watch for the early C's paint shells.
Waiting for this nightfall, but Sen have to fully commit, and they've had success at C, and XLG has changed things up, but it's really the hit towards A and trying to punish the two-stack that XLG have had in the past over there, using the paranoia, suppression, just shots, spam through XLG, forcing them into cover through tree. Good headshot from Zekin, and Sentinels will trade and still have the number advantage with the Prowler clearing through stairs. It will be a plant, and Nightfall to try and be proactive against what as Sentinels thought was going to be an anchor, and XLG will peek through stairs.
Coconut just left on an island there. TP's all the way onto Rubble, but the wall cuts him off from the rest of the help that XLG could have given him. And the Sentinels complete disrespect to the coach of XLG, running him down a tree. At least he trades 1 for 1. And Nightfall will clear the site. Not that anyone was really home in the first place, but these two members from XLG coming through tree could be the X factor. Raga shut down early though.
Oh, just the Prowler was on the left side when the rest of Sentinels were on the right. So the timing a bit off from XLG, trying to fully get value out of their initiator. So Vivo will hope to hold the Vandal while Sentinels soon to match the score. Viva has been the X Factor after a quieter day one at EWC. He's really stepping up to the table, and you'll love to see that. But it will be Sentinels on a 3-round win streak with XLG having a front-facing defense in a one-and-done position. And despite the paranoia, it's not been something XLG have been able to benefit from.
It's open shooting season for Sentinels. They completely dismantle every player that XLG show up with on C, on Mound. A complete flawless, even on the opposite side of the map. John Cutie gets his revenge on Viva, so there is not a single kill to be found. And so here it is, XLG, they've been wanting to get aggressive over towards A a couple times. John spots it, well, he'll just smell it out, and he'll back away.
I'm wondering if you even wanted to early pit here if you're a Happy Way. I mean, C-side has been hit, and now the Steel Garden. Happy Way will try to escape. Of course, you got the teleport in. Sentinels established. Retake. Trying to be a little bit quicker this time. It is the pit to try and retake some of the space. Pit v pit. This is just a no man's land, and Sentinels happy to be hidden from all of this while the spike is being planted. It's going to allow them to defend, but on off angle you have the Nightfall from Waterfall as XLG have to send their double duelists to clean up what they started, but they just can't seem to unite with just all the vision being obscured. Sentinels trade blow for blow, and Sentinels get the last laugh.
Just not too sure what happened to the comms there. You have the Dimensional Drift, as mentioned, walking through, getting all the information. You want to talk about scouting information, you're not going to get too much better than that. yeah, they got a decent amount of your Sentinels ultimates out of there, but I think it says a lot that you have Zekin confident enough to not even throw in the showstopper, which would have been super nice versus the Pit, but they're just such a good team. They're so far ahead. Zekin's already got Coconut down again.
Yeah, XLG swing a lot more forward this time, expecting Sentinels to drop the wall, and just XLG being able to get the orbs to hopefully getting more impact out of those two. But the double pit, I mean, I don't blame both of these duelists having a really hard time. So Sentinels with the number disadvantage will be trying to get a plan at B.
So this is a big swing around them. This is the XLG opportunity. They actually get these really nice opening picks. They've been failing to get these time and time again, multiple rounds, early face-up, early failures, and Happyway. Sheriff only takes down Zekin, dodges the outlaw shot.
Happyway is just warming up, and Havoya has his back, and some signs of life from XLG, yeah.
Really nice stuff. I think they brought in a rifle or two potentially, but largely they still had a bunch of members on pistols here. They just needed to. It's the first time we're really seeing Sentinels explore B. They've been mostly going into extremities. Double satchel. The showstopper to clear. That'll be a free side.
As soon as you see that Prowler, where is that fade hidden? Zekin blinds. Could at least be a threat, but XLG coming through the top of the site. The smoke obscures and Nary with the Nightfall. As soon as he senses XLG around the corner, there it is, the Nightfall. XLG can just stay hidden, but time is of the essence, and XLG just frag, all thanks to this sort of flank from Coconut coming through the A-link door. And it's just beautiful timing out of XLG.
There's just no information. Sentinels, we're not too sure exactly where the retake was going to come on through from, so you see the Nightfall. Starting to see more signs of life from XLG now, which is nice. Final 2 rounds, though. Still opportunity for XLG to close the gap a little bit more.
Yeah, Sen may just want to go to the opposite side of the map if they're going to be met with this much contention from XLG at A lobby, but this time, Sentinels, they're just so stubborn with it. They're losing the duel. Beautiful 2K from Viva, and Sentinels will trail, but they open up the vision. Of course, XLG do as well, but they stay as hidden as they can, and Sentinels have to figure out what is next.
XLG finding more and more value now over on this Rebel side. One around through here just previously. The pseudo-thrifty. Voya on the line, he's ready. In fact, he knows, he sees the rifle, he sees the barrel, and that's going to cost John QD's life.
It's just not ideal when you just had a controller and a Sentinel trying to clutch and still scale through and clear towards A. So Sentinels, I think, did the right move last round to just kind of abandon A and out-rotate XLG, but this time they just try to fight fire with fire, and unfortunately, Sentinels don't have the same blaze as before. Now trying to come through the backside of B. Like this idea to Zelsis in a 1v3, has time to go to C.
It's just a tough 2 versus 3 situation if you don't possibly trade, or at least have John go 1-to-1 there, which wasn't going to be possible given peeked a little, his body or his rifle peeked a little further than he would have wanted to. Okay, whoa. Oof.
Had good initial damage. Like the idea from Zelsis to just have as much space between him and the retake as possible, so that he had time to set up his thorns and almost...
It's going to end up being a slower round for Sentinels, having to work their way and navigate through. At least one of the operators was 2, just 1 now. Voya taking down Zelsa, Steel Garden offline now. John's still there though.
But Sentinels also heard that there's 2 ops, 1 at C and 1 through the opposite side of the map, so it's not going to be a good site to hit.
John's also revealing positioning here a little bit, open the door, hoping to get some rotators out from C, but not going to be the case.
Zekin does cross the road before getting cut off, and I wonder if we saw that number on that lower path. Doesn't matter. Sentinels support each other so well. It is still a 3 versus 3. Now with that nade, it is gonna delay the plant, and there is the showstopper through the fire and the flames. Havoya, an amazing start, traded by Sentinels. Time running out. The plant goes through, and XLG may have just prevented it. John Cutie has to do it here and now, and just can't with the pressure coming through Waterfall. It's a 6-6 half.
Maybe this was going to be the match of the day. Maybe you are right, XLG want that revenge match. 6-6, it was the end of the half, and look.
No one going to go through that B-Link door from Sentinels. Kind of surprised they wouldn't want to try and cut off those rotations or have multiple angles. Just trying to play this from front to back, and now Sentinels trying to back away against the Prowler. But it is going to be Nary kind of by himself, not linking up with Zekin, but Zelsis is still punching hard against XLG, who have lost a lot of that real real estate, and a lot of that manpower. It's all up to Happy Way to keep stairs on lock, and it's traded 1-for-1, leaving Viva to do all the hard work, and while blinded, it's not gonna be easy. He does stay safe against John Cutie, and Bang gets some damage into Bang, now trading back and forth. This is winnable for Viva! Bang chooses this moment carefully and takes it for Sentinels.
Sole survivor again. Viva seems to usually be the one for XLG, still up when the rest of the team falls.
By John Cutie's orb, so XLG are gonna have to re-clear with the Sentinels team that are more ready for it this time as the haunt is thrown from Mary, getting vision in. Sentinels hoping to prevent the plant, but this corner should be safe for now, especially with Zekin getting smoked off. Still has a nade, of course, and double satchels if he wants to get freaky. And Sentinels are just really suppressing them and waiting to hear that spike get planted. But now it is a rotation from Zekin to join through the front lines. Waterfall not going to be another angle to get through. Sentinels are going to just flood in all together. Now getting some shots in. XLG just hold the back. Sentinels trickle in and really not backing each other up as well. Just all coming through the same angle. XLG hold it down, and it's only just Celsius.
Waiting for the plant to come on through before the retake comes in, and everyone making their way into halls and falling down to the firing squad of XLG, all on site together, holding strong. And they even want to clean up Zelsis here as well. Happy Way finding him over towards Pillar for the flawless, and now XLG start to feel a little bit more confident. They get their own flawless back in, and this is going a lot differently to how we see that first half, if you sort of remember that one.
And there's very different vibes from both these teams. Like XLG have a lot of good vibes. They're yapping, they're loud behind me. Sentinels trying to be as meticulous, play some clean Valorant, and stay locked in. They know the job's not done, and it's the Prowler that leads the way for Havoya and the Boom Bot that could have marked someone close. Now you got an Odin. As Zelsis tries to read where this push is. XLG now playing chicken against bullets, and that's a deadly game, and Havoya will still put the red carpet down, but there is a pivot of the spike going towards B to the loving arms of Sentinels, but the push from Happy Way was unexpected. It caught Sentinels watching that B-Link door off guard. Now you could get a good plant, but now it's just pivots back and forth.
They can rotate now. Havoya's got full control over towards A. He's winning his duels over there. You already start to see Coconut pivoting. It might just be Happy Way chilling over towards B to keep things interesting. Finally, the decision going to be made. B is looking a little bit safer. Coconut will eventually place here. But still, though, on the big flank, Havoya can get a lot done. You can still see that Sentinels are very considerate of the fact that this flank is active.
Spike planted.
Just Happy Way just getting that initial clear through the top site. And they focus on that A-Link door where they blast off some defenders, and this is important. Both Vipers about to face, and it's Happy Way that has to shut it down. But John Cutie's been dealt with, and it's just up to Celsius, who's gonna have to get rid of this Odin. He does, and maybe just wants to save the Vandal, but a 1v2 is certainly possible for a guy like him, but the high-low, too strong, and XLG will tie.
Needed to be able to arc roast through there to be able to flash in if possible, but two players, too strong. Trying to meet Happy Way instead.
Cover going out. Who's next?
Drifting.
Dimensional drift, yeah. As now it's XLG, which is good protocols, clearing the box with the Prowler, now converging into B, and it's Happy Way through B main. You had the paranoia from Sentinels coming through the tree, and XLG are just sandwiched, and it's quite painful, and they have to pick a side to push through. XLG have their attention split, but it's about winning these individual duels if they can, and this time XLG have decided to go towards A. Getting the right read, they could outnumber Bang, and it'll be up to him now that the smoke dissipates. But not getting pushed quite yet. It's allowed Sentinels to push out of B. And XLG have taken too long to decide where to go.
Well, they finally get banged down. That allows them to finally get on top of A as well. Just got to check through a couple of decent corners, and then should be the plant. Planting for Tree. The 3 alive on Sentinels is good. Steel Garden, that'll be the guns gone. Showstopper though. Havoya needs to show up here.
Great Steel Garden. Havoya with a showstopper, and just unfortunate timing. Sentinels just sandwiched at multiple moments from B to A and not waiting for XLG. Now I want to see XLG be able to tempo up in those crucial moments. And learning exactly that when you send Havoya satcheling into Rubble, kind of trying to sell the fake, which you can do playing that double duelist, and you can play solo on that side and play off the showstopper. Hey, and it's good for Sentinels to get the one. The Nightfall will try to get the chase down on that Omen. with, of course, Narrate able to fire back with his own Nightfall here in a second. And he does. XLG now hesitate whether to go in. The Prowler is going to bite down on Happyway, who's isolated. At least he has a smoke to play off of, but it's not going to be a good spot with the Vulnerable and the Decay. But XLG just seems to shoot better. And Sentinels just have John Cutie, while Zelsis is still rotating from A. Really good clutch out of XLG.
Man, that was a really curious round coming on through. The initial Nightfall being ripped open from Viva. Very low chance was going to catch anybody, hoping maybe somebody on site, but bang, easily just TPs, double TPs away from that one. So kind of weird from Viva. They were hoping to be able to catch the last member, but then the counter Nightfall comes on through and doesn't deliver enough for Sentinels at all.
And I think you could just pit here to try and get this plant safer, and they're just baiting out these shots from Sentinels. And now the pit will go down to protect this. How Sentinels can approach this is going around the perimeter. Both of XLG tried to stay within, but Viva caught on the outside to prevent the retake from Sentinels. And now going for both angles. Happyway caught between a rock and a hard place, and it's John Cutie that'll get it in the end with the defuse, and Sentinels back in the lead.
Easy spam through on a couple of members that are already in position to take damage. Coconut's already ripped off. Look at the 20 HP. And just a ton of spam damage on his face.
Yeah, it's just easy for a second with the lock-in, and there's not going to be a punish. And Sentinels just the back-to-back rounds where they're able to converge from multiple angles and have the time to rotate and surround XLG. And it's XLG that'll find themselves behind a duelist, but Havoya could lead that with just a showstopper. It's a little bit awkward to try and go through all these angles, all these corners. Hoping to still get that ult off.
See if Viva gets interested a little bit further on to test the smoke wall or test out the door as well. But as he falls off, it's Havoya first on site. Walking through, and he's going to be able to walk all the way nearly into spawn. 1 versus 1. Does he check the right corner? Nope. Not going to be able to get John Cutie down in time.
Still XLG,
Nice.
seeing if they can have any advantages. What is going to be the weaker site, the less defenders? You had ears from Viva hearing at least 2 defenders getting a win over at A. But XLG just don't want to waste any more time. It's Happyway versus Bang. Even though Bang had a high ground and a nice angle, gotta respect Happyway. We'll back away, and Viva has full util to help keep this site for XLG.
It's just too many members down from XLG untreated. At least Viva got Zelsis, but that's all that XLG have for the time being. They will get the plant down, but 4 versus 2. Plenty of ultimates in hand. Showstopper there as well. Really not expecting Happyway and Viva to get it done. It's not planted offside either, so.
Second as a showstopper, this is how you break in off the paranoia. Say goodbye to Viva. And it's Sentinels in the 3 versus 1. Now it's hide and seek, and it's deadly for Happyway. And Sentinels start to create that gap. XLG still have a 2-stack with the pit at C. So it is a pivot, a great read from XLG, realizing this site is open. There will be a flash, though, placed by Zelsis once Sentinels do want to fight for this.
Good structure to be able to still pull through the showstopper despite no one being there. Need to make sure that it is clean. You have lost rounds from there before. It's Viva up first, though. Needs to have shots ready to go. Does he know there's 2 players, though? He knows he's definitely one.
Just needing to buy time, play your life. If you're XLG, start off getting first blooded. Now it's about protecting the objective, and you have Coconut playing through B main. He's about to meet where this Viper is going to push from, but John Cutie is better. Narrates Odin screams louder than XLG, and it's Sentinels on match point.
Yeah, map point being found for Sentinels here in this BO3. And Coconut activating so late, hiding in smoke, doesn't even realize.
Any juicy prey, not yet. It's XLG, not the best buy, but a Nightfall. That could be good. It is going to get this fade, but no, Narrate just spams through blinded. Not care in the world. What is Roger looking at? Trusted his teammate too much. And XLG fumbled displayed such a good ultimate. Narrate just wills this win into existence. And it's Havoya left for XLG, now buried 6 feet under. 13-9 for Sentinels. They do it again.
What a huge round coming through from Narrate. I mean, how does XLG not even see him?
Look, very well-rounded performance from all of Sentinels there for XLG. I mean, Happy Way has been the standout at this tournament. Raga, again, maybe not lifting his weight, going missing a little bit in a couple of important rounds, but overall, kind of a similar performance from most of XLG there, Jen.
A breach coming through. That was Midi's choice previously. Raga now on a Neon, expecting a lot more out of this position now, but it's Zekken up first. And Zekken down
and
first.
He's down first. Yeah, what the heck? XLG, just great retaliation from Viva and Market, and he continues to slap around Sentinels who even try to come his way. Well, Sentinels will use that distraction of their fellow teammates' corpses to get the spike down, but that's all they're going to get this round. Another XLG pistol to kick off a map.
Happy about Happy Way coming in large and in charge for opening round here. Pistol, once more, as mentioned.
You hear that? Pow, pow, pow from XLG. Like, yeah, that's kind of what happened.
They're definitely getting, well, they're getting excited. They're getting off to a good start.
Oh, and the mesh, but Sentinels this time are ready for it. They react, they bite back, but it's Viva with a huge 3K that nullifies this round for Sentinels, and it's Neri that has to think of another plan.
Solid from Viva. Also in the previous map as well. I'll bring that momentum through, but already looking in dire straits for Sentinel's first gun round. Not looking too pretty here. Viva collecting a bit of an upgrade. Good news here is Raga doesn't have the one shot. In fact, he is just going to die here. That might actually rescue the round for Zelsis and the rest of Sentinels.
We're going to see this coming. Sentinels 2 versus 2. Viva on his last leg, and to stop this, a good surprise from Happy Way. But it was traded. Viva has to make his way to A, and Sentinels will know exactly where his last location was, and the tripwire will reveal Viva.
Cam's going to get info here as well in just a hot minute. And Viva has no clue. At least the regen shield allows him to get back onto a little bit more HP, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Zelsis now has full information. He knows exactly what this is going to come through. You'd imagine this round is entirely over, and it is. Viva doesn't even know which way to look.
Too many angles to check, nothing off that recon, and Zelsis just doing his due diligence on the post plan. That earns him a neural theft going forward. Right, a bit of a bait from Zekken. After he got caught by Havoya, once with the mesh and the other with the barrier. Sentinels playing with their food, and it's a chess match now with the Paranoia. Very critical to know that Coconut is on this side of the map. It's going to be the biggest threat to the duelist on the Sentinels side. As long as Sentinels swing together, it's be a much cleaner round. But a neural theft nonetheless from Zelsis will reveal the rotations are on the way for XLG.
Coconut would have wanted more there. If he gets a single extra kill, a 2 versus 2 retake feels a lot better, considering Raga also doesn't have another gun to use. Op on the retake is going to be a little bit rough here. Happy Way also one away from neural theft. Would love to get some information on positioning here. Raga's up against 2, and he might get traded even if he does get a kill. And
Raga could do it. Oh wait, he slipped by, and John Cutie puts him to bed, and we're tied 2-2.
It's just too hard. I mean, slide, and then you have to scope in as well. He's really hoping the relay belt was going to get the concuss, that he can get that shot in.
How's the mid patrolling?
Also, Narrate got a couple of kills over on the B side A side rather last time as well, which was causing a few problems. Let's look over towards Market one more time though. That was where Coconut fell early. He's posted up, ready to control this. Break trip into mid. Havoya, he dropped off.
Don't want that smoke. Oh, Zekken does not care.
Wait,
the Annihilation will still be grabbed by that Annihilation, and Zelsis will have to avenge him. As now the spawn is open, and XLG get hit by a Nightfall. So there's so many problems that Happy Way is facing, and he won't have to worry about them anymore. It's Coconut and Viva have to also re-clear through their own spawn. They have no idea where Zelsis is lurking about, so saving your weapons, including that op.
Well, that's the thing, right? They brought the op in. Raga played a glass cannon op that will be recovered by Viva now. Everything else going very wrong for XLG.
I don't know, you're going to be able to keep these rifles, XLG. Coconut has to be locked. Here's the swing. Beautiful setup from John Cutie.
The
and now you're just watching your own win, and the op is dropped at least, and Sentinels are rich enough, so who cares?
Zelsis will drop the selfie cam there just for fun, and then Sentinels, that's fine. The rest of the members will come in and clean up. And it's not going to end up being the full purchase through for Havoya, but he's still only got 500 credits left, so it's like he has essentially spent most of his bank here, hoping to get something done on the Guardian.
If XLG get info, they could Hunter's Fury, but this is too forward from Viva.
Wow.
Oh, just the swing is so good from XLG. Viva, he lives and he kills. And Zeus is just catching Coconut on a bit of a hot skip and a jump and a clean round out of XLG.
Viva came out of nowhere. That was incredible stuff.
It looks like this Hunter's Fury could just be used for the retake after all, especially when you have John Cutie or reading he has a Rolling Thunder. Sentinels could get any site they want. And off the camera info that Zeus has provided, feel confident trying to push into Coconut, into Market. The last time they've read that he was there, but it's a different setup from XLG. You got the teleport from Bang to come assist, and the spike is down. The Hunter's Fury cuts Sentinels at the heel. And it's now Bang that has to lurk around after the ult, and he gets a surprise, but not enough manpower from Sentinels to muscle that round.
Good looking flick coming through from Bang, but it's not going to be able to save himself from the secondary player from XLG. 125 across the board. John QT, Bulldog in hand. No early aggression this time from XLG. Could be another market play for Sentinels. Walking this time into 2.
Oh, Coconut still is being dismantled on that top high ground, so Sentinels are definitely finding the weaker entry point to get into B with, and it's a 2-3 split from Sentinels to attack and dislodge this anchor of Happy Way, who's going to remain within the site, and he gets his one and dances around cover a second. And now revealed from the neural theft. No Celsius, he takes advantage and evens up the odds as best as he can. Sentinels back in the driver's seat after the effort from that Sentinel from XLG. It's up to Rarga, but I think maybe just keeping the up would be better.
He actually can play this, so this is the thing. How confident are you if you're Rarga? You can swap over to the overdrive at any point in time. The real difficulty is eventually you're going to have to play into some of this John QT utility. Haunts back on a line. Fault line is there again. Most importantly, though, it is looking over towards that ultimate. Swapping over towards the weapon. This is so doable for Rarga.
Oh, the Rolling Thunder's invested, and Rarga not able to clutch this one up, especially at B is gonna make things sketchy for Zekin if he crosses that path, especially when you have to try and get to that high ground, and there's a Sonic Sensor stun, the swing out of Havoya, but the support is better out of the Sentinels to back up their duelist. And it's Coconut from the top rope, now being obscured. They'll have to take a market approach if XLG hope to retake this, and they'll leave Coconut to wait for that cage to expire.
You have members playing offsite here as well, which is going to be very difficult for XLG to be able to navigate. Multiple angles here, at least if you come through Boba for one member on Coconut, could be interesting. But no paranoia, it's already been spent now. But can they react in time to get these kills?
You don't even have time to use the neural theft, you just have to go and frag now just to confirm the big win for Happy Way, who claims with joy, and XLG will tie. You pull together these rounds as a team, and it's another Sentinels cut into market, the Sonic Sensors to try and strengthen that side of the map for XLG. The barrier is only going to delay Sentinels for so long. The paranoia thrown into the mix, and Sentinels have to wait. Now they swing out, narrate with the stinger, and now the Nightfall at 5 HP. Just trying to keep XLG in his place, and it sets up the overdrive for Zekian, but Rarga knows his place. And Sentinels 2 versus 2, and one of them with a pistol, hoping to change that up, and Zekian at the top site wants to get ahead of the game, but it's XLG converging through the market side, and it's Rarga that leads that, loud and proud, around the corner. This is the fight to win the round, and it's Viva once again, the strikes to the heart of John Cutie, 1v1, and the better Neon is Rarga.
Rarga with just 30 HP left to play through, but information gained from Viva, who falls. Lots of utility still in there.
Needed to see him activate and come alive for potentially one of the final times for XLG at EWC, and Coconut could have maybe been hurt at that corner, and Zekin is still caught off guard, just weave, dive, and dodging around his own wall, and Happy Way has been the ultimate anchor for XLG to keep B as big of a challenge as possible against the Sentinels.
He's trying to lean over, and eventually XLG need to be ready. Surely that's footsteps heard. Has to be, surely.
Yeah, he can prowler through that corner box, so Havoya has a lot. Maybe could even throw this Annihilation preemptively, and he claims the breach, and there tries to unleash him. And Havoya, he just giggles at his own team. What a clutch from Havoya to hold it down.
for some time, and the shock will just breaks that one, leading to a fast lane hit onto B. Nobody's home. This will be a full retake.
I like that Raga's inserted deep too to kind of watch for any potential retake. And that'll be all led by Narrate with a Prowler. In which corner he decides to check with, and someone has to swing right in there. And I think a breach or a retake is going to be a lot more solid.
And again, very little ways to be able to stop this utility from range with no shock darts available. So you're just going to have to try to run into some of these. At least there'll be some information on Viva.
Oh boy, you're doing what you can. You get blinded, you get breach utiled, and Sentinels have found their way in. There's a Sonic Sensor, good concuss that Rarga is able to benefit from. And it's a 2 versus 1, all up to Narrate.
One enemy
and
remaining.
He gets the finishing blow on Coconut, not expecting Narrate to get that close, and XLG have that pistol too.
Honestly, Sentinels did a pretty good job there coming through, despite having to run into all of this util from the double Sentinels.
Sentinels into gear.
Where are we?
Now Neri playing further back with the haunt. That is going to get some information with a paranoia that could have came out of Bang, or even just the breach. A lot of utility from the Sentinels side, but not utilizing it. XLG, they battle so well. Well, nothing affects them, but it's only Happy Way left, and he's on the opposite side of the world, just lurking. XLG end up taking a big ol' L at the end.
This has gone so poorly for XLG, but a 1 versus 2 Happy Way has so far been the massive fragging power for the team. You can see the respect coming through. Sentinels want to make sure they can mark him, take him down, take no risks against Happy Way, who's been sharp. The good news for Happy Way is that there is time, and he can isolate a 1 versus 1 against Zelsis here on B.
Just a good nightfall from Narrate if Zelsis was in position a little bit closer from mid, so a slight desync from the Sentinels. As XLG did, of course, hear Zelsis cross from mid. You know that nightfall came from A, so some information for Happy Way to work with.
30
but now the
left.
unknown in front of him. And it's Happy Way around the corner, but just thought he checked in. Zelsis just blends in a little too much, and Sentinels have not given up.
Showed some good presence over in towards mid. Refreshing one ways. Bang has control on A, and now it's up to Zelsis for first contact. Decent one-way cage rather. Should be able to allow Zelsis to get some good advantage here.
Like that one way, Zelsis is gonna get pinged and gets punished. At least takes one down with them. And Zekin just pokes and prods at the choke as XLG flood in. And it's Sentinels out to play this from front to back, and doing it without John Cutie, without your IGL. It's gonna be pain, and that neural theft is gonna give Happy Way all the answers. But Zekin slips by their defenses. It doesn't matter, because Narrate is all that's left for Sentinels in a 1 versus 3. And Navoya just walked by. Viva, of course, cleans it up, and I guess I said XLG haven't thrifty before, and this is their first one.
It's another big round from Happy Way. He just converts, gets the first upgrade, and then getting kills on top of that. Man, what a sick round for XLG to be able to come back and get that lead back one more time.
And Lotus was so win streaky, and XLG are not going to let that form for Sentinels. Annihilation doesn't. The Warrior goes fishing, gets no one. A big double kill from Bang, but an answer from XLG. They recover the spike, and they already have Coconut within the site. No paranoia. All the util from Viva, and even a Hunter's Fury, but to even have the space to operate around that, it's going to be tough. Zekin could activate.
Speaking of operate, right? What's he going to do about this situation? Should be able to get a free kill here. Doesn't need to use the overdrive just yet. A single player left to play through, and Viva, if we get more teammates in this post-hunt, could use this Hunter's Fury, but Viva will be good for 1, but can he get more? Absolutely not. Zelsis with the backstab, and the round goes back the way of Sentinels.
Spang. Gotta go. And he's got pinged, and the Sentinels have gotten first and second blood in one of these previous rounds from just these early peaks, and XLG are going to try to mark that a bit better. It's good conditioning from Sentinels. They are going to get stunned and fall back into market. Some space for XLG to work with, but the retake is already there. John Cutie front and center, a big pick as Sentinels spread themselves thin on both sides of the pillar, and it's Bang left to pick up the pieces. 1 versus 3, Spike going down. And Bang has paranoia, and there's so many corners to check. At least Coconut won't be in this equation. Bang has the 1v2 ahead of and that's a good trade from Viva with 3 that round.
And a trust from XLG as well. Happy Way was the only one that didn't actually have a gun.
Sentinels can try kind of unite again with the initiator of Narrate. You got Prowlers, you got a Paranoia, and it's him with a double kill. Could have saved this round. Narrate has been huge in these rounds at times, and still dwindles XLG down to only 2 rifles.
Going out.
Solid from Narrate, and now there's guns on the floor as well. So what do you do in this situation for XLG? You're down to minimal numbers. You're starting to pass over the potential of gun upgrades if Sentinels are allowed map control here. And so for XLG, retain position, push back over into A. Sensing that Bang is going to be nearby, but you called it. Narrate's been huge so far on this defensive side. Does Viva have what it takes to take down Bang here?
Yeah, Bang makes first contact. John Cutie could swing. He has full util, one away from the rolling thunder. John Cutie up next. Viva's just quicker to the trigger. Look at that teamwork with him and Happy Way. Viva, it's not always about the numbers, but the importance of these kills. And now the plant goes down. Speed activated. Zekin in position. The drone out. Nace has spotted this neon.
Tag.
As Zekin plays with his food. The spike in front of XLG to defend. And Happy Way puts one down. And it's 1 to go. Getting XLG up to match point.
One crouched, one standing, and Viva will be the one standing alone now. Good news for Sentinels, plenty of ultimates. That's what they have to work through. Find some decent value there, find some gun upgrades, and suddenly you're in business, and there is the first. Neural Theft as well to confirm the position. You're going to be understanding the Coconut's right there. Can Zelsus get this clean up? That will be huge.
Making sure that breaches on the opposite side of the map could be huge for XLG. They are just going to outnumber Narrate and even get the hunt down. Viva once again stealing away these rounds as XLG could get one of the final plants going. As John Cutie with the Rolling Thunder is coming up for Sentinels.
Yeah, can these two players on XLG do it again in these clutch scenarios? It would be insane for them to just consistently win. However, for Sentinels, they have the ultimates to play through. They have utility for Zekin as well, and he's got a gun.
He slips and slides, and there's only one place XLG can win, but there's Lord from Happy Way! Oh, it's joyous for XLG! They get themselves another chance, and it ends on Haven!
I said this at the start, it's a happy day for Happy Way. Unreal, 3K there.
I don't know if that's external factors. We did have a couple of little lulls there during that map. That can kind of throw some people off from time to time, or whether it's just XLG being more hyped for this and making some better adjustments going into this game of Sunset.
And look at this, different comps all the way around. It's like we swapped sides entirely. XLG are going to be the ones running the tried and true Raga now onto the Jet. Something I was thinking about if he was going to look towards an early on, straight onto C main. Massive face-up, both teams contacting each other. Waiting for the utility though, it's not going to come through. Oh yeah, it's just going to swing for it and die.
Second Juicy, and XLG now just trying to escape, but also get their spike back. The double swing. This is the way that we want to see Sentinels synchronized from here on out. Just tightening that up would have, I think, had Sunset go the distance. This is already a better map for Sentinels.
This is essentially, as we watch the possibility for Happy Way to do something. I mean, look, he's been legendary on Sunset, but a 1 versus 4 would have to be ridiculous. So he'll get backstabbed by Zelsus, speaking of which, on the Killjoy for this map.
Now can make it look like they went elsewhere, but this lurk from Zelsus is what matters. He's got, of course, ears and eyes on C with the turret there, and he tries to keep his eyes peeled on mid, so Sentinels still confident in their read.
Are they going to see Narrate though? They need to get Narrate down early. Viper Walk is still coming to slow this down a little bit more.
There's nothing more than what the Sentinels defenders could do. Of course, using a lot of those bonus weapons, and Zekin wants to keep the op, so XLG will show face on their first rifle round.
Huge from the getting Narrate down, checking that angle, and then bursting past the Viper Wall. Cleaning up a couple plays with lesser weaponry. It really was the op from Zekin that could have been the game changer, but Zelsus really hoping that somebody's going to walk through towards the end. The scans are going to come through just to make sure it's not going to be the case. Already have advanced movement for Voya to scout out that they can safely retreat back over towards A main. And you'd imagine Zelsus should probably die to Spike here so that he can drop his Judge, because do you really want to be bringing a Judge in the next round is the question. And he is.
We can do this.
No eyes on Garage or back sight. Smoke for Coconut available. Just kind of delay things. Sentinels have a recon, of course, no drone. And Sean Cutie with an op, but It's going to be difficult for Sentinels to break through, and it's actually a proactive paranoia from XLG, thinking they had the timing on the Sentinels entry, even an early fault line too, so XLG hold the door, now racing in off the paranoia is Zekin, big opener against Viva, now shooting through the boxes, it's toe, just going toe for toe, punch for punch, and it's the XLG multi-kills that thrive at the end, another 3K for Happy Way.
It's the players that are playing offside a little bit further back that will find the success here. Happy Way and Havoya.
But they had such a weak defensive half because of that. I think it was 3-9. This is a much more suitable comp for XLG. Going well so far with back-to-back rounds. Looking for a corpse for Happy Way with the neural theft advantage. And Raga makes that space and somehow loses that.
Zelsis, wow!
Zelsis with what? A Sheriff 4K to turn it all around to reestablish the Sentinels?
They did not check the double box to their right. That is very basic, and unfortunately that may cost them, and it will. Happy Way not going to be able to clean up so many members. We've seen him at a 1v4 before, and it's just too many members of Sentinels to break through. Zelsis, when things were getting awkward in that BBL game, Zelsis still held strong. And the first customer was Raga. Zelsis popping in, but you have to be concerned. Like, at this point, how are you not turning around? How are you not considering where Zelsis is standing from by the time that Havoya...
Garage will be explored for the first time for XLG, and with the breach, you're happy to break in.
Yeah, I haven't really played towards this angle. Seeing Zelsis hold this position. One round prior, but nothing really came through. Zelsis, the big hero of the last round, now has to be the player to hold on as long as possible. Rifle in hand. A little bit of support coming through John Cutie, and Zelsis is down first.
Was found an XLG of evicted Sentinels. There is a flank from Bang, but it will be sussed out by the Happy Way trip. So XLG have their attention quite split, and Havoya gets to explore. Does lose it to Bang, but the info that Bang is there is half the battle, with Neri coming through the top site. XLG have time on their side too. The paranoia clears out Garage, but isn't going to get the targets Bang was looking for.
And look at the instant smoke up as well coming through from Coconut. 1 HP, by the way. Happy Way, nice and easy. 2-piece, doesn't even need the rest of the teammates. Could have just handled that one all by himself. Maybe not, actually, given the fact that I did mention Coconut instantly smoking off connector.
Good ults, but also just a stinger for John Cutie. One away from the pit. Viva, Hunter's Fury. Another B approach from XLG. Dash in off the smoke from Raga. He can always make the space, and holding it is a whole different story.
This is slow, though. Snakebite would slow things down considerably. They do beat the timing on the smoke. Here comes Zekin. He wants to dive on in off the information that Narrate gets, but it's more than info. It's kills.
Season. Oh, the 2-for-1. Disgusting.
Last player
And
standing.
XLG down for the count. They haven't had a lot of luck at B. This will go Sen's way to try and help their economy going forward.
I mean, they were playing into a real potential trap there. And as soon as you see the snakebite come through, you have to start thinking, do we really want to continue or not? But it was a full commitment from Raga, which means everyone else is going to follow through. And then a situation where, yeah, Zekin, full confidence, swings on and slides through, following the rate, laying down the carpet for him, and the Hunter's Fury could not have done better. Full scans.
Maybe more for the post plant.
Got pushed up. Several members of the Sentinels are in short. It's going to be Happy Way taken down super early. Not what you want to see for your XLG.
Oh, the swing from Raga. He's always good for one, but Sen are good at trading him out, so it's always been super close rounds between these two teams. A map 3 that many would not have expected.
Voya has a position here, and he's well found his target in Bang. Coconut as well on the opposite side of the map, and suddenly XLG have bought their way back in 3-2 here. But what can Coconut do? Oh, terrible.
Oh, that would have been everything for Coconut to save. I mean, he just put the red carpet down for XLG to maybe get a plant down at C, and now Viva has to reconsider.
They got time though, but XLG don't know where to go. They're gonna move onto the site where Coconut died, and it's gonna end up working out for them. Havoya making the calls here. Where is the Viva? Do not take that trade, please, Viva. That would be terrible. You need to get grouped up with Havoya right now and play for a plant. Cannot afford to die in mid.
Scanning ahead.
Right, plant should be good. Zekin and Narrate recon 2 to help Zekin get eyes and ears as best as he can. Zekin adjusts carefully left side, and actually a quiet approach as Viva plays through main. Of course, you have Havoya through garage. As XLG don't want to get multi-killed.
He's flanking.
Sen just within the sight. And yes, Havoya could be on the flank coming from behind, and Zekin doesn't know what to expect. The Hunter's Fury gets the attention from one side and Havoya from the other.
What? He defused? What? What? You are kidding me. You are kidding me. XLG had the 2 versus 1 and the Hunter's Fury. Terrible date of eyes to watch that round unfold. But for Sentinels, it's what they needed.
Okay, the early pit, and actually a deep one over at the A for the defense, and no Hunter's Fury from Viva to kind of counteract that. XLG could just walk away from the center, so packed in, but Coconut, because he teleported in, they're committed. XLG with the rolling thunder, but just haven't been able to get any opening. Second comes alive, and Sentinels unite for a 7-3.
What a weird position, Coconut. I mean, he reveals his spot over into heaven. Of course, it's not going to be Happy Way walking up, but it will be a situation where this round goes a little bit later. You have a large flank capability for Bang, but also a trap setup where XLG want to walk up C-Long. Guess what? Bang can close around again. He's done so multiple times. However, look over towards the left side here. John QD in good position.
Good headshot. And this is XLG being synchronized and better for trade. Something that was really lacking in that last round. And a 5 versus 3 within B has been a difficult sight for them to hold, but only when there's 5 left of Sentinels, and the overdrive tries to kick things into gear, and Zekin does what he can. It's all up to Nary to 1 versus 2. Or 1 versus 3. Happy Way still has HP somehow, and the job gets easier, but it's not done for Nary. He's even pre-shooting, but one from main. Gonna get attacked by the recon, and that's the timing for the swing for Happy Way. And an 8-4 half, the best you could hope for XLG.
Yeah, play that one a little bit more patiently if you're Happy Way.
Yeah, Zekin has pulled all the punches this map and throughout the series. I look towards Coconut to set up Rarga for more than 1 kill, which is more than I would get, but I still want to see Rarga have his pop-off moment, one that we expected. But Sentinels have a fake that they're trying to sell towards B, maybe even fully committed, but after losing Zelsis, that plan to go A has been maybe ruined.
So they lurk down.
Viva still has a recon too, but is trying to watch for a garage flank potentially from Sentinels, and also just trusting into the Cypher trip to give him info from Happy Way.
My eyes are down.
Now, something is suspicious. Happy Way is going to call for reinforcement. Here's the push from Sentinels being slowed by the cage, and Happy Way hopes to get his one and done, gets nothing for his efforts, and Sentinels trying to even up the numbers, but it's Viva coming alive! Oh! And the third one in the corner, he kicks back against the Sentinels!
Of course, we saw in Sunset when Happy Way wasn't there. Viva certainly was to collect and deliver for XLG a 4K to start things out.
Have a clean anti-eco to bring us much into the bonus and have more of a marathon than a sprint. Try and catch up is the biggest gap we've seen between the two teams. Setting up camp now at B. It's the breach from Pavoya. Still flashes in hand.
Whoa,
and Zekin, who hunts down Coconut. Nary takes care of business. And Sentinels facing some trouble, but at least time is on their side. And it's Happy Way saying hello and does what he can. XLG, they bought up. They find themselves behind in numbers. And it's Viva. Okay, John Cutie got to finish on what you started. Kind of a choke. Wait a minute, Viva Rarga. They clutch.
Well, they still got good guns in their hands. Rarga can still get the one shot, of course. And Happy Way coming through late will also contribute to the fight. And round 300 straight, 4K into a 3K.
Going out.
Into, did he get the defuse as well? Must have.
He's getting pressured back while Happy Way is smoked off, but could be ready to swing at a moment's notice. And it's Viva that shows face, and Happy Way don't want that smoke, especially with the better bio from Sentinels.
Could have played off Havoya there. I'm a little surprised. He just dry swings it. Happy Way as well will be punished. That's your 2 top players potentially down. Raga's in the mix, but XLG, they've been winning rounds off Happy Way and Viva. If you want to swing that one, if you're Viva, surely Havoya does something to help you through the wall, but just didn't see the team play. And team play has been, again, I think the biggest issue for XLG, just not connected, and Zelsis will find the time at a coconut. This round is over.
Every single time XLG have won a pistol and an anti-eco, they have not been able to convert that bonus. The first rifle round from Sentinels, it's usually good for it, but let's see how this finishes at the end. You're just gonna save that rifle if you're Voya, and Rarga's gonna go far away. That was a clean way. That was really nice shots. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah, he's sharp, and at this stage, I mean, you could tell that XLG have kind of abandoned the round because Havoya's just trying to take the rifle and run, but given how sharp...
Presence in mid, that's what XLG have to work off of.
It's going to be difficult without Narrate, no recon, no drone to get them in. Going to have to be some setup from Bang here to do it. Zekin's caught in the trap, and will eat the stun.
Okay, good punish from Bang after Zekin got caught by a trip and some damage taken. Nonetheless, Zekin and friends are not looking so hot because of the work that was done on the right side of the map.
And how patient was Raga as well, knowing that eventually Zelsis will walk into me, I'm going to get this shot, and he does deliver. And late in the round now, rotation will finally be called. It's Coconut's turn to show up. He doesn't versus Zekin. Zekin and Bang together, two top players, and they are proving it right now. This is now winnable. 2 versus 2 in a post plant.
But Rarga with the op hopefully can find a different gun once he gets into around the garage area. And Zekin and Bang have much util. It's just going to be the face-off, 2 versus 2. Rarga with the slow walk-up. Viva could just bait for him and the shock dart to force the movement if XLG want to try and make Sen uncomfortable. It's Rarga with the flash, the dash, gets the focus of Sen.
Oh my word.
Collects both.
Rarga, tricky plays coming on through.
I'm staying alive.
Need to trust Raga to be able to hold down C this time. We've seen his patience shown before. Previous round, he looked down A long for what felt like the entirety of the round. Eventually, will get rewarded.
Trying it again.
But it's going to be B once more. Happyway closer this time. It's going to be a cancel from Sentinels.
Zekin with the fake, and I like the way he's not always committed, but with the double swing from XLG, Zelsis finds a good punish, and Coconut will back away, hoping to get Havoya into a position for a flash to help. The teleport forward from Bang. No, he doesn't commit, he doesn't stick it, especially with the spike. That's a risk when Sentinels doesn't have the sight fully. Under Fury to guarantee it. Zelsis comes from short, and XLG just get peppered down with ults. Not over yet, though. It's 3 versus 2. Sentinels will have the objective on their side. On the high ground, it's unsmoked as Havoya still has a fault line. Rarga.
2 players left to play through. Given that he dropped the operator, they want to play for this as well. Fault line's going to be huge here. 2 away, Havoya from the Rolling Thunder, probably too far.
Havoya, fault line does hit those below members, but Sentinels quicker to the trigger. 2 away.
Big info from Viva, by the way, holding long this entire way through, which is why now the smoke being sent in his face will cause some issues and start to see shifts now. A single smoke will cause rotations and allowing Sentinels to walk over through on towards B. This is going to be a fast Rolling Thunder. Havoya better be ready for it.
All right, splitting in. Oh, early Rolling Thunder. Hearing Zekin activate. XLG don't get a punish and the smoke's in place, so XLG deny B site, and Havoya with 3 from Garage completely cancels out that round from the Sentinels.
Still, though, going to attempt to get something done over here, at least put some damage on the Raga. Put that operator away. Zekin even will hold the gun. There's not going to be time to win the round for Sentinels anymore, but Zekin, after this round is over, he's actually going to enter the next round with an op if he doesn't swap a gun right now. Yeah.
It's not over yet.
But he's saying, no, let me just stay on B a little bit longer. We can play a retake with the Rolling Thunder if I'm wrong, but he got it right. It was, in fact, B, and that got value.
Zekin's really good with these fakes. The wall's up, he takes damage. And if John Cutie can get it there with the pit, it's everything. But the kills come through. It's Viva and Rarga. The pit is up. Rotations on the way. Call 911, and it's for XLG this time, who forced the map 3. And a 2 versus 4 comeback is what is demanded for XLG to live on before they say goodbye to Group B. And Sentinels, time is on their side. They just have to hold the door. Viva gets stunned around the corner. He lives, but it's taking away the last life for XLG. It's Sentinels that hold it down in the corner in second. And Celsius, they made his own chart after all, 13-9.
We've seen them win this before in various situations. This combo, Raga and Viva, but not this time around. Too much to play into.